Wales squad for the November internationals, folks, has been named. It's Steve Tandy's first squad. He's been able to recall some of the big guns. There are a few big name omissions and a number of players who miss out through injury. We will go through the squad, the fixtures, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how things are going to go. I'm not sure whose bright idea it was to invite not only number one in the world, South Africa, number two in the world, New Zealand, and then top six, Argentina, alongside Japan. Because wins have been hard to come by for Wales in recent times, and I would have thought losing back-to-back-to-back and whatnot games, even if they are coming off a win in the July matches against Japan, it's not good for the mentality of the players. I would have thought switch one of these games for a slightly lower ranked opponent. Vary it up a little bit. Like the Scots have got the All Blacks, they've got the Pumas, but they've also got America and Tonga. I feel like Wales could have used one more game, but I guess the administrators are looking at some quiche and want to sell out the stadium, and they figure Argentina, New Zealand, and South Africa are more likely in that regard. And then there's also an interesting one with Japan, not only because Wales went to Japan earlier in the year, but Wales and Japan 12th and 13th in the world rankings. Whoever gets 12th gets to be a second seed at the next World Cup. And remember, the World Cup draw, those positions will be based on what your world ranking is after the November internationals. So if Japan can beat Wales, pass them in the world rankings, then Wales would be potentially, depending on their other results, a third-tier team at the next World Cup instead of second. And if you're a third tier, it means you're going to draw at least one of the top six and at least one of the second six. So not ideal, but that does make this set of fixtures very, very spicy, and that Japan game become a very, very important one. What is the deal with the squad? The big talking points. Rees-Zammit is back. I think that's a bit of good news. Had his crack at the NFL. He's back in rugby now, and he's back in Welsh colours. I think that's good. That's exciting. He's experienced. He's still young. He's still quick. He's got a proven try-scoring record. Him and Blair Murray in the same back line is exciting because Blair Murray has taken, despite the fact that it's been a bit of a low point in Welsh rugby, he still looked like one of the bright spots in this Welsh side. And then whoever else in the back three, whether it's Josh Adams, Dyer, Tom Rogers, or whoever, could be pretty exciting if they can spin the ball out wide. Who else is back? Your Lions are back. Jack Morgan's back. Thomas Williams is back. That's a bit of good news. And then a couple of your locks, Steph Jenkins and Adam Baird, who didn't travel in the July period, are also back. So the squad is looking, in some areas, a bit stronger than it has in recent times. They have got some injuries, and Will Rowlands has retired, so the locking depth has suffered a little bit there. Teddy Williams is injured, so another kind of second row is out. Chiunza not available, Beetham and Josh McLeod. So there are a few forwards who are unavailable. I'm not too worried about the depth in like the Welsh loose forwards. Like, as I said, Jack Morgan is an absolute lock. They've not even picked Tommy Reffell, I guess, because that's how much of a lock he's got on that number 7 jersey. He's going to play the 80 minutes. He's the captain, Jack Morgan. He's captain fantastic. He leads from the front. Maybe Tommy Reffell's just a bit too like for like. They have played these guys together at times in the past because they've genuinely been two of Wales's best players. But no spot for Tommy Reffell. So it's a bit of a surprising one, but I guess I can see it. Morgan Morse is one of the uncapped guys in those loosies. He's been a guy, I think, who's been knocking on the door for a wee while, but he's still only 20. So I can understand not wanting to rush him in just yet, but that pick has been coming. The other loosies, you got various ends of the experience scale. Faletau and Wainwright, very, very experienced. Alex Mann and Tame Plumtree, Freddie Thomas, kind of less so. And then there's other uncapped guys in the forwards. Danny Southworth, loosehead prop, only 26 years old. Certainly lots of growth to come in his game. Brodie Coghlan being a regular starting hooker for a lot of the games for the Dragons for the last couple of years. He's going to be behind Dewey Lake and probably Liam Belcher as well. Dewey Lake was spoken about by Steve Tandy as being one of the leaders in the side, so he's the starting guy. But, Coghlan potentially gets his debut in November, so that'll be a big achievement for him. And then James Fender. Love seeing a big bit of tall timber. He's over 2 meters tall. Still a fairly young man as well. It's harder for him to get some game time with Baird, Jenkins. Ben Carter's there as well. But Yeah, he'll be certainly putting his hand up for a debut too. There's less inexperience in the backs in terms of uncapped guys, with just Louie Hennessey coming in. He's playing his rugby over in Bath. I haven't been watching enough of the Premiership to see how he's been going, but I know he's played Welsh under 20s. He's only 21 years old. Plays a bit of 13, I think, in recent times, but he's more than just a 13, so be keeping an eye on him if he does get a crack. Interestingly, Johnny Williams hasn't made it, even though he was the starting 13 for Wales when they played over in Japan. But yeah, also no Sam Costello, which I'm not disappointed about, because I would rather see the likes of Dan Edwards getting a crack. Callum, Sheedy has also been pulling the strings pretty well for Cardiff, who've looked the best of the Welsh teams thus far in the URC, although Callum Sheedy's goal kicking at times does leave a bit to be desired, and then Jarrod Evans is there as well. So I think you've probably got your best 3 10s picked. No offense to Sam Costello, but I'm not sure in terms of international 10s, he is your guy. Reuben Morgan-Williams is still there, very happy for that guy. He got his debut obviously against Japan earlier in the year. And then Tom Bowen is maybe one guy who could be seen as a bit of an omission, because he's been in red hot form, scoring like 5 tries for Cardiff at the start of the UR season, but he's only 19, so he's still physically growing. He's just, getting into the professional part of the game. I don't have a problem with not chucking him in the deep end against the likes of South Africa, New Zealand and whatnot. I think the Japan game is such a must-win that you can't be experimenting too much for that one, just in terms of the world rankings. So, yeah, give Bowen another year or so, and then have another relook at him, because, as I said, you've got a bunch of decent-looking outside backs, and Rees-Zammit being back in, he's going to get some game time. So I don't have a heck of a lot of problem with that. Overall, I think the squad is stronger than some of the other Welsh squads we've seen recently. Rhys Carre being back was maybe a bit of a controversial one, because I didn't think he was eligible with the caps rule, but he has been picked. I think he would have been eligible, is it for England, if they didn't pick him soon? I'm not saying he would have got picked for England, but maybe that's part of it. He's only on 20 caps. I thought he had to have 25, but he has been picked. 4 fixtures, as I mentioned: Argentina, Japan, New Zealand, South Africa. Not easy. The Japan one is an absolute must win. Argentina are a very hot and cold side, so it would depend how they show up. And then New Zealand and South Africa, those feel like tough matches. But we will see. New Zealand's not been in the best of form. They'll be looking to recapture some on their tour north. You guys let us know your thoughts on the squad. Who are you looking at with a bit of excitement? Are you disappointed to see anybody in particular miss out? Nick Tompkins is one guy. He'll probably cop a bit of stick for his addition, but how do you reckon they're going to go? And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.